Right back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get the service.
Yeah.
I want to raise a glass to Vincent LaRusso.
All right.
Yeah, here's to it.
Now, it's a hell of a thing to be celebrating your birthday in the middle of what you're in the middle of.
That's right.
I want you to know that every cop in this room is behind you.
That's right.
You bet.
For sure.
You're a hero, man.
Here you go, man.
Yeah.
Right back to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just talk.
Behind you.
Vincent LaRusso?
Yeah?
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. To you. Happy birthday. Vincent LaRusso.
Just like now.
Happy birthday to you.
My birthday's pretty soon.
Break out.
It's too hot in the spotlight. I got no use for fame. And everybody tells me I'm gonna be a household name. A little peace and quiet would really hit the spot. 'Cause all I ever wanted, all I ever dreamed of, was just to live and die a cop. If they're looking for a hero, they can find somebody else. I just did my duty according to myself. Now they treat me like I'm a special. I wish to God they'd stop. 'Cause all I ever wanted, all I ever dreamed of, was just to live and die a cop. Give me back my freedom. Give me back my gun. I just did what had to be done. If I had to do it over, maybe I'd think twice. 'Cause this crap I gotta go through ain't hardly worth the price. These parasites and leeches gon' bleed me till I drop. And all I ever wanted, all I ever dreamed of, was just to live and die a cop.
Sunshine, tears and rain, precious memories of years go by. Hours of darkness, fear and pain, all the time that we had. When all that's left is a photograph, not one golden moment in the sun. Doing what had to be done, living under the gun. Dark and bare, not a sign of
Andy Campbell?
Yeah.
I'm Jessica Wolf, your new partner.
Hi.
Hi.
Tell us what your qualifications are, Mr. O'Rourke.
For the last 15 years, I've concentrated specifically on the responses of individuals in combat situations. I've done extensive work for the Central Intelligence Agency, for the Armed Forces, for police departments in over a dozen cities. I've also served as a member of the United States Special Forces.
Now, you've interviewed Detective LaRusso. You've heard the testimony of Detective Potts. Based on that and on your expertise, can you tell us whether Vincent LaRusso was justified in doing what he did?
Well, I can tell you what happens to people when they believe their lives are threatened.
Please do.
Well, oftentimes a gun battle, particularly one like this at close range, it produces what they call a tachypsych effect. The individuals involved, they'll undergo a number of sensory and perceptual distortions.
Such as?
Other people will appear to move in slow motion. Objects may appear closer than they really are. And often there's complete auditory exclusion.
Which is another way of saying that they can't hear.
And the only thing they can see is the other guy's gun.
Now, we've heard that the deceased was handcuffed at the time. Now, let's say for the sake of argument that he was. Would this allow you to rule out the possibility that he was holding a gun?
No, sir.
Then it's your testimony that a man with his hands manacled behind his back is physically capable of picking up an automatic weapon and firing it.
Yes, sir.
With the court's permission, I'm going to ask that this witness demonstrate how that's possible.
I object to any such demonstration as being wholly irrelevant.
The fact that it can be done is not only relevant, Your Honor, it could be a critical element in the jury's deliberation.
I'll allow it.
Mr. O'Rourke? I'm going to ask this court officer for his assistance.
Gene?
For safety's sake, I would also ask that you unload your gun. Would you handcuff Mr. O'Rourke, please? There are 2 pieces of tape on the ground. They indicate where both of you should stand. Mr. O'Rourke is now approximately the same distance from the gun that Tyrone Weeks was. This court officer is approximately the same distance from Mr. O'Rourke that Vincent LaRusso was from Tyrone Weeks. Gentlemen, I want both of you to go for your weapons whenever you're ready. Your witness, Ms. Phelan.
I've drafted your statement, Chief. We can release it to the press when you've looked it over.
Another apology. Another mealy-mouthed beg your pardon for saying what I think.
It's designed them in fences, Chief. After some of your recent statements, the black community doesn't exactly feel like their police needs are your first priority.
Well, they're wrong.
And a statement of intent from you could go a long way toward proving it.
Damn it, Ozzy, I'm no good at this. I flap my lips, I get into trouble. I believe in doing, not saying.
Chief, they've got some legitimate complaints down there. Not enough response time, no foot beats. I think we've got to show them we're being responsive to their needs.
I'll show them all right. The 19th Division is doing a gang sweep on Thursday. I'm going to go along. What do you think of that?
I think people will see it for just what it is. A public relations stunt.
Trust me, Ozzy. This is just a trick to get these black malcontents off my back once and for all.
Wait a minute.
What?
When you look at me, what do you see?
I don't know. A deputy chief. Best damn deputy chief a man can have.
I'm a black man, Chief. The highest-ranking black man in this department. Whatever else I am, whatever else I do, that's something I don't forget. And I don't expect you to forget it either.
Damn it, Ozzy. You don't think I know you're black?
Yes. When you talk about getting black malcontents off your back, that's just what I think.
Hell, Ozzy, when I talk about black people, I don't mean you. What I mean is...
I know exactly what you mean, Chief. There are good blacks, and then there are all the others.
Oh, damn it, Ozzy. You're twisting this just like the newspapers to make it sound like I'm some sort of racist. I'm going on that sweep. And if you don't like it...
I don't.
Then don't come along.
No offense, I think this is a lot of crap.
How come?
It's a waste of time and money. People ought to be able to paddle their own canoe.
Well, we can't. Unless you think things are just great the way they are.
Things stink.
Tell me why.
She's in love with another man.
This other man is my partner. Sure, I love him. But it's not like he's saying nothing ever happened.
You thought about it.
Well, I think about a lot of things. So what?
I never think about other women. I never feel things for other women.
Oh, what do you want, a medal?
Do you think that even if this situation hadn't come up, there might be problems in your marriage because of the difference in your ages?
No.
Uh-uh.
Do you have children?
No?
Do you want them?
I'd like them, yeah.
How about you?
Someday. Not now.
How do you feel about that?
I'd like them while I'm young enough to enjoy them.
Look, what's this got to do with why we're here?
Why are you here?
Because of my husband's jealousy.
Over feelings you have for another man.
They're not feelings, not in the way he thinks.
What the hell do you call them, then?
Are you sexually attracted to this man?
Okay, yes.
Finally you admit.
My feelings are my feelings, Ralph. What am I supposed to do?
How about, for starters, stop telling me I'm crazy for knowing what I know. Stop telling me it's all right for you to want to go to bed with another guy just because you haven't done it yet. Stop making me feel like all our problems are my fault when they're not.
They're not anybody's fault.
They're your fault.
Nothing happened. I never let anything happen.
Then why the hell did you lie to me? How can I ever trust you again?
Because you're my husband and I love you.
So what? So what? I'm sorry. I gotta get out of here.
Great, run.
If I don't run, I'm gonna put my hands on you.
These are the 5 gang members named in the warrants?
Yes, sir, and 3 others on illegal weapon possession.
You boys will want pictures of this. Automatic weapons found inside the house. Over 10 assault rifles in a house in your neighborhood on the block you live on. No. Let them close enough to see. All right. I want everybody in this neighborhood to see for themselves that we have heard your cries for help, and we are here.
Hey, Chief, hear this. You're full of crap.
What? Who is that? Show yourself, sir.
You got some nerve coming down here, Jack. Since when did you care about the black people of this community, man?
I care about all the people of this city, sir.
Oh, yeah? Does that include Negro cod merchants?
Yeah.
Now, just a minute. That remark was taken out of context by a bunch of media assassins. You ask any black in my department. Ask them what they think of me. Hell, who do you think made Warren Osborne deputy chief, huh?
Yeah.
A white guy, that's it.
Get in your car and get out of here. We don't need you coming down here exploiting our young men.
These young men are all vicious drug dealers who are selling out the future of this community for a $20 bag of crack.
This community's got no future, man. You keep treating people like they're garbage.
I am as committed to the well-being of this community, sir, as you are. I am here to stay. Get me out of here.
Yeah, that's right. Get him. Go on tomorrow, Jack. You got nothing to do with that. Yeah, get on out of here.
Okay, let's get it going, folks. Okay, good news. Last week's prostitution sweep at Jackson and 5th was a huge success. The bad news is that now that the hookers have cleared out, we've got women who can't cross the street without getting hit on. So today we clean up the Johns. Vice Task Force commences at 2100 hours. We have 8 female undercovers: Ventresca, Driscoll, Voland, Enriquez, Schneider, Berg, White, and Wolf.
Sorry, I'm late.
All right, let's put a lid on it. Okay, y'all know the drill. You're gonna go out one at a time with 2 officers nearby to cover and me monitoring from the van. The guy's gonna pull up, he's gonna wanna talk, he's gonna wanna play word games. Fine, let him. You can entice, but you cannot entrap, okay? You don't make an offer. And remember, no touching. All right, you just keep up the banter until he spells out his offer. Any sexual act for any sum of money, and we got him. Patrols take him clean and fast so we can move the second team in. Okay?
Yeah, got it.
Any questions?
Can I advertise?
Depends on how far you go. What do you have in mind?
Hey, good looking, I got what you need. A mind for action and a body built for speed. Where's the party? The boulevard is slow. I'm all dressed up and I got nowhere to go. Choose me, baby. Choose me, baby. Now the other girls are fine, but for a really good time, choose me. Now come a little closer, take a look at me. Tell me, honey, do you like what you see? Big eyes and ruby, ruby lips, tender in the thighs and slender in the hips. Choose me, baby. Choose me, baby. If you're looking for a date, don't you hesitate and choose me. When you got my kind of style, it only takes a little while to find some company. I've got the hair, I got the face, every curve is in its place. Check my geography, oh yeah. If you want experience, then I'm your girl. I'm well traveled, been all around the world. When it comes to pleasure, I understand that I know how to bring out the best in a man. Choose me, baby. Choose me, baby. You never will regret it, baby. Come and get it. Choose me. Choose me, baby. Choose me. Oh, yeah, yeah. Choose me.
Well, am I street legal?
I think I'm gonna have to cite you for having an exposed muffler.
Is it fair to say, Captain, you put a little pressure on Officer Joseph Gaines, Lieutenant Ralph Ruskin, Detective Donald Potts?
I told them what was expected of them.
You told them what you expected of them.
Yeah.
And you told them what you'd do to them if they didn't deliver.
Counselor, all I did was point out that there were consequences to telling a lie.
Ah. Well, that brings me to my next question. How is it you were so sure the initial reports were lies?
I knew it in my gut.
Excuse me? That's it? You knew it in your gut? You could smell it. You walked into the room and there was something in the air. You embark on an all-out crusade of threats and intimidation. You become utterly obsessed with bringing Vincent LaRusso down, and your only explanation is a line out of a pulp novel?
Objection, argumentative.
This is a hostile witness, Your Honor.
I'm aware of that, Counselor. You can ask your questions, just do it without the sarcasm.
I apologize. I'm just genuinely puzzled, that's all. You weren't in the room at the time of the shooting, were you, Captain?
No.
Well, help me with this, Captain. You show up after the fact, and it takes you all of 5 minutes to accuse Vincent LaRusso of murder?
I know LaRusso, Mr. Weitz. I know what he's capable of.
You also know how the other cops look up to him. You'd like them to look up to you like that, wouldn't you?
Objection. Mr. Weiss is not here to render psychiatric opinions.
Sustained.
I went after him because a crime was committed, and he was the perpetrator.
A crime was also committed on the night of October 17th, Captain. Are you familiar with that?
Objection. Irrelevant.
I would ask the court's indulgence in order to establish relevance.
Go ahead.
You were present at a place called Rocky's Bar and Grill, is that correct?
Yes, I was.
Also present were Vincent LaRusso and a man named Armand Damiano.
That's right. Detective LaRusso had already been relieved of his caseload by me.
But you were aware that he was about to complete a transaction that would have resulted in the arrest of Mr. Damiano for possession and sale of some 10 kilograms worth of cocaine. Is that not a fact?
He had contravened a direct order, Counselor.
Answer the question, Captain. Were you aware that a major felony arrest was about to be made?
Yes, I was.
And what did you do?
I prevented Detective LaRusso from making that arrest.
In fact, you blew his cover and let a drug dealer get away.
I have to maintain discipline, Counselor.
In other words, it's more important to pull rank than to fight crime.
Your Honor, this whole line of questioning is irrelevant to the issue at hand.
It's not irrelevant. This man pressured 3 witnesses into testifying for the prosecution. The fact that he has an all-consuming vendetta against my client is anything but irrelevant.
Counsel's right, Miss Phelan. It's not irrelevant.
I would like you to tell this court and this jury exactly what happened in that room.
Tyrone Weeks was handcuffed to the kitchen chair. Detective Potts was in the process of unlocking the cuffs so that we could take Mr. Weeks in. His hands got free. He pushed Detective Potts away and he grabbed the Uzi.
Did you order him to drop the Uzi?
No, sir.
Why not?
The clip was in, the safety was off. At that moment, I felt the only way to prevent Mr. Weeks from shooting both myself and Detective Potts was to draw my weapon and fire.
I would guess you've spent some time thinking about all this.
Yes, sir, I have.
Is there anything you could have done differently?
Every time I run through it in my mind, I think of something else we could have done differently. I could have taken his gun and put it in the trunk of my car. Beforehand, I could have ordered Gaines and Rolfe to come back inside with me and had them restrain the prisoner. I could have done a lot of things differently.
Could you have avoided killing this man?
At that moment, the only way I could have avoided killing him was to let him kill me.
No further questions.
How long have you been a police officer, Detective?
14 years.
Have you spent the bulk of that time in an office doing administrative work? Or have you spent the bulk of that time on the street?
I spent all of that time on the street.
Could you give us an idea of how many arrests you've made?
I honestly don't know.
Truth is, you've made over 1,400 arrests. Wow, is it fair to say that having done it that many times, you pretty much know what you're doing?
Yes, ma'am, I know what I'm doing. I also know that each situation is different.
Detective, please, just answer the questions asked. Have you ever let a prisoner get away from you?
No.
Other than Tyrone Weeks, have you ever let one overpower your partner?
No.
Well, now, looks like you got pretty sloppy all of a sudden.
Well, that happens.
Question is, did it happen here, or did you just blow him away?
No, I did not.
You knew it was a tainted bust.
Yes.
You knew that he was guilty.
I believed that
you
he
knew
was.
that he might very well walk.
Yeah.
And you couldn't let that happen.
It never occurred to me that I could prevent it.
Oh, yes, it did. You knew just what to do, Detective. He was a cop killer. Your only witness was your partner. Internal affairs would go through the motions, and in the end, they would buy whatever story you told them, and you'd carve another notch on your gun.
Objection, Your Honor. Is this cross-examination, or is Miss Phelan practicing her summation?
Yes, Miss Phelan, I'm going to tell you what I told your adversary. Stop making speeches.
I apologize, Your Honor. I would like to ask Detective LaRusso to explain why he thinks it is that his partner would testify under oath that this wasn't self-defense at all. Why would Detective Donald Potts, who hasn't been accused of anything, testify that this was cold-blooded murder?
I think he's scared. I think he believes that if he doesn't testify against me, they'll find some way to put him in prison.
In other words, he knew that you acted to save your life and his life, and even though he knew that, he sat up here and lied through his teeth?
I can't say what Donnie knows, and I can't say what Donnie saw. What I saw was the barrel of a gun pointed straight at me.
You saw it, or you thought you saw it?
I saw it. I saw myself dying.
Detective, you weren't the least bit afraid of dying.
Look, I can put on as good a front as any other cop. I know how to look. I know how to walk. I know how to come across as a hard-ass son of a bitch, and most of the time, that gets me through.
But once in a while, you gotta pull that trigger.
Officer? Officer, may I just talk to you for a moment?
What?
I just wanted to tell you that out of all the sexual experiences I've ever had, none was as deeply erotic as being arrested by you.
Glad you had a good time, Lyle.
May I ask you one more favor?
What?
Have dinner with me tonight.
God, I'd love to, Lyle, but tonight's my mahjong night.
I know you think of me as some sort of stupid, petty miscreant.
Lyle, I don't think of you at all.
If you'd only give me a chance to expose the real me.
I'm no criminal, and I'm no saint. Sometimes I even park in the yellow paint. But all I wanted from those nice young girls was some tenderness, some tenderness. I pay my taxes, I go to church, and I pray for a breakthrough in medical research. I just wanted someone to help me to share some tenderness, tenderness. I have this need that burns inside. It has no shame and it has no pride. I wish my wife, oh, I wish she could understand. But she won't even lend me a helping hand. So what if I long for a leather strap? What if I like stiletto heels running up and down my back? Or some large lady with a heart of gold to tie me up and make me do just exactly what I'm told. I need to be punished. I need to be hurt. I need to be crushed like a bug in the dirt. To be chained like a poodle, spanked with a shoe. To be brought to my knees by somebody who's sweet just like you. That's
apologize for the other day.
Why don't we talk about it?
I don't want to talk. I came here because my wife wanted me to. I didn't think it'd work then. I don't think it'll work now.
What are we supposed to do? We just throw in the towel?
I don't know.
This is hard work. It takes real commitment. You both have to decide if you want this marriage badly enough to do it.
I have decided. I'm sorry. I want out.
What?
I can't live like this. You move out or I will, or whatever you like.
Ralph!
I'm sorry.
Cops are different. Or so we're told. Only another cop can know what it's like. The rest of us should just stand behind the yellow tape and be grateful. Now, we've heard from a number of cops during this trial. Officer Gaines's testimony provides us with motive. Lieutenant Ruskin's testimony contradicts the justification of self-defense and demonstrates that the defendant made a deliberate attempt to cover his actions by tampering with evidence. Detective Donald Potts's testimony provides us with an eyewitness account of what happened. How does the defense explain all this away? They say that a demented megalomaniacal captain got those witnesses to lie. They hint that there are those in the inner reaches of the police department that have it in for Vincent LaRusso. And if you're not persuaded by those theories, then they ask that you let him go free because he's a cop and cops are different. Ladies and gentlemen, Vincent LaRusso is a killer. And when it comes to the willful and calculated taking of another human life, cops are not different. They're just like the rest of us. Their crimes cannot go unpunished any more than ours can.
Miss Phelan's absolutely right. Cops can be as guilty as anyone else. That doesn't really tell us whether this cop's guilty, though, does it? How do we decide that? Well, we've been given all kinds of guidelines, all kinds of legal definitions. There's presumption of innocence, burden of proof, circumstantial evidence. What the hell does it mean? It means that in order to arrive at a verdict of guilty, you must find the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Another way of saying that is, you have to be sure. I don't think any of us would want to convict a man unless we were sure. I think most of us would want to be very sure. What I would like you to ask yourselves in this case is how sure can you be? There were 3 men in that room. 2 of them came out alive. 1 of them didn't. The 2 that did describe an event that lasted, maybe 5 seconds start to finish. Both of them were in a life or death situation. The truth is, I'm not sure either version is accurate. How sure are you? I would submit, ladies and gentlemen, that there is nothing you have heard at this trial that could possibly make you sure enough.
Most guys would tell you they don't really...
You believe black people are less intelligent than white people, yes or no?
Ozzy, it's me.
You think black people are lazy, yes or no?
Why are you doing this to me, Ozzy?
You see all blacks as welfare mothers, drug dealers, Negro con merchants.
Some are yes, some are no.
Are you a racist, hunky, yellow-breasted chicken bastard, yes or no?
I am what I am.
Your Honor, members of the jury, members of the community, and all of you who have gathered here with us today,
This man stands before you in his underwear, on trial for his life. The charge is racial prejudice. I ask that you find him guilty.
We find the accused guilty as charged.
Time has come for you to make your peace. Say your prayers. Get down on your knees. Now we all know that you have crossed the line. When tomorrow comes, you'll be on the other side. Hey, hey, hey. Your number's up. Hey, 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 hey. Your number's up. Tell them what I said. Hey. Your number's up. Ah, yeah. Your number's up. Yeah. We're gonna turn the news. Make it nice and tight. You ain't never gonna see another morning's light. You're dust in the wind, and you blow through the breeze. You got one last break. You got one more sneeze. Hey, your number's up. Hey, hey, your number's up. Tell them what I say. Your number's up. Oh yeah, your number's up. Today's the day the tables have turned. We're going outside just to watch it burn. Now what you thinking? What are you going through? Now that your worst dream is coming true. Hey, your number's up. I tried to tell you. Your number's up. And I remember when you told me. Your number's up. I said, sure last night. Your number's up. 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 Good morning. Your number's up. Your number's up. Your number's up. Your number's up.
Ozzy! What is it, Chief?
Oh, my God. What a nightmare. All these blacks, they were hanging me for being a racist. And you were the executioner. Do you really think I'm a racist, Ozzy?
Well, what I think is racism comes from fear. People are afraid of what they don't know. You don't know us, Chief.
Nervous?
Yeah.
Jerry could be out for a long time, Vincent. Want me to order some food?
Oh, I couldn't eat if I tried.
You want me to leave you alone?
No. There is something I want to do.
What?
I want to get you pregnant. Listen to me. If that jury comes in with a guilty verdict, I'm going away for a long time. I want to know I have a connection to the world outside.
I'm not going to forget about you.
Yeah, sure you will. Look, I want something to live for, Trish. I want you to have my kid.
All right. How about we take another vote?
What's the point? Some people are going to vote guilty from now to the next millennium just to prove a point.
Maybe it just so happens that we think he is guilty. Maybe we also take the judge's instructions a little more seriously than some other people in here.
Like who?
Like you. You're talking about what crack dealers do to a neighborhood and what kind of signal we're sending to the cops. You're talking about all kinds of things we're not supposed to consider.
Sir, I will consider the things that for me and my kids mean living or dying, whether I'm supposed to or not. Now, this is the first time in my life I've had any power at all to affect those things. And I'm going to use that power. I know what to consider, sir. And I will consider it whether I'm supposed to or not. People, time to put all the pretty talk away. Be kind enough to listen to what I have to say. First degree murder, that's what we're talking about. What I got is a reasonable doubt. People, I've been living in that neighborhood all my life. You take a look around, you discover very quickly it isn't all black and white. Got people locked in their houses, just too afraid to come out. Just like me, they've got a reasonable doubt. Men like Tyrone Weeks got respect for nobody. Got respect for nobody. No, not even himself. Men like Tyrone Weeks don't deserve any justice. He got just what was coming to him. He brought it all to himself. What about the gun? I really can't be certain. What about the witness? Yes, who do you believe? What about the handcuffs? Sometimes appearance can deceive. I'm telling you people, time to put all the back and forth to rest. You can give a man a job, then put that man in prison for trying to do his best. It's not an easy decision. Oh, but these are difficult times. When it's warfare we're talking about, there is always a reasonable doubt.
I have no idea. What'll you do if it's a hung jury? I'll go after him again.
Vincent, what's your reaction? What do you think the verdict is? No comment. Listen, please, have a little consideration, will you?
Vincent, can you tell us what you're feeling right now?
Right now, I'm scared to death, all right?
All rise. Be seated.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Will the defendant please rise? Mr. Foreman, what say you?
We find the defendant, Vincent LaRusso, not guilty.
Take out calculus. Come on, how do we tell it?
All right, we going. This is Ted Koppel. Later tonight on Nightline, what was life really like as a human shield or a hiding from Iraqi soldiers? We'll talk with 4 former hostages tonight.
This is Charles Gibson.
And Joan London.
Tomorrow, the Surgeon General on the first major conference on women and AIDS.
Also, former First Lady Betty Ford and Winona Ryder on Good Morning America.
This is Bill Beutel. A mother is killed during what could be a robbery in a well-to-do section of Long Island. John Gotti is behind bars, at least for the next few days, and a young child is run down by a police car in the Bronx. These stories and more next on Eyewitness News.